Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm getting started on another episode of What's Broke Today. And today, I've got another John Deere stand-on mower 652R. And what we got going on with this one is, he said they put a deck belt on it, or his neighbor helped him. Um, and that's a belt from the mower deck to the engine. And not exactly sure what his neighbor did, but when he was going back together, at some point he took the electric clutch off, which don't have to, but he did. And since they put it back together, the blades will not engage. It does make a funny noise now when it's running. So let me reposition everything, get a piece of carpet to lay down on, and let's look up underneath the back and look at that electric clutch. Okay, I don't know if you can see up there, but this may not be too bad of a fix because when they let the electric clutch come down, it come apart and it has the disc on top of the blade brake magnet. So what I have to do is get this thing up on some jack stands. Um, going to get my impact wrench, pull the deck belt off, and we'll drop that clutch down, see if we can get it reassembled properly, and then slid back up on there. So I think I will take my blowgun and blow all the metal junk out before I get started. All right, and the tools I'm okay. The tools I'm gonna use during this is just a simple small flat bladed screwdriver. I'm gonna need a ratchet, half-inch drive with an extension, a 2-inch extension with a 5/8 inch socket, and my impact gun. And I'm gonna start out with, um, because of the way they got that together, it's got everything in a bind. And luckily, the idler arm for the deck belt tensioner has a hex in it for your ratchet, because it is, when you turn the blades, it wants to turn the whole engine. So I can just use this and slack the belt, make it easy to pull off there, and then just leave that there. And then I'm going to use my little screwdriver, unplug the wire for the electric clutch, and use my impact to drop the electric clutch down. Now, I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to do this and actually make it where you can see. But I'm going to start out with crawling kind of underneath. See where I can reach through with my screwdriver. Get it under the tab for the wire on the electric clutch. So I can pry that tab up. Even though I'm kind of doing this by feel because I can't really see. If I pry that tab up, I can wiggle that and unplug that wire like so. And then, since I got the belt off at the front, I can grab it somehow and pull it backwards, or attempt to. Sometimes this is harder when I got the camera there because it ends up being in the way. But I get the belt kind of pulled back and out of the way. I can reach under here with the impact and loosen that. And now this is where it becomes a challenging part. I went and got the pry bar so I can reach up under here. I'm going to put it under the clutch to hold it up while I lay down underneath and pull the bolt out. That's going to lay the bolt down here on the bottom. I'm going to scoot up here as far as I can from the rear. Okay. Now, okay, I'm just going to drop that down out of there and get that all the way off, because I need this thing to slide down. But it slid part way, and then there we go. That's tight. But that's what I wanted, was to get that clear off there. So that with that clear off there, I can take this, hook that underneath, and fish things around and slide these two halves back together so that this plate is in between the silver bar and the driven plate. And I'm going to go back up in, and one thing to make sure you always get is this extra washer. Needs to be laying on top of this bearing, and the crankshaft needs to go through it. And of course, I don't think I can get this through from this direction, but I'm going to try. I don't think there just isn't enough room this way. So I'm going to push it up through the slot. It's in between the deck and the almost looks like a striping device, but it's actually something to keep you from things from flying back and hitting you in the feet. And then I'll have my pry bar handy to put underneath that and hold it up while I start the bolt. So, and I may bump the camera with my hands. And if I do, I'll just correct it when I get everything in place, because, like I say, not a ton of room. And see, they already hit it. Let me move it over there. And not quite as good a shot. That will have to do. But so I get that up there, I'm going to feel and make sure I got that washer in place. I kind of feel for the crankshaft. Okay. Okay, so I get that pushed up on there. I'll take my pry bar and get underneath it. Well, first let's get it turned around facing the right direction. And see if I'm up far enough to start the bolt. And I am. All right. I'm reaching up there making sure that the clutch anchor's in the right spot. Make sure I got the belt where it's not catching us. And I'm going to go ahead and come up front here and put the belt on. using my ratchet. I'm going to reach up from the bottom and find the clutch anchor. Make sure it's in the groove. And I can grab my impact. Tighten that up. And reach up here. And now, let me reach from the back. Easier to put the wire on from the back than it is from the bottom anyway. It's not easy either way because there ain't a lot of room for your fingers. But get that lined up. That's everything. If you could be messing with that and be able to actually see what you're doing. But when you get your hand up there, of course, it blocks your view. Okay, and we got that pushed down on there. Okay, now I'm going to go up front. I'm going to grab the blade and turn it. You see everything turns easy now. And I'm going to turn the key on. And I can hear the blade or the clutch, I think. But my true test is, okay, you can see why that's turning the whole engine, so it is engaged. Next step is to get it down off of the jack stands, and let's go out for a test run. And he didn't bring me the little kick plate, so I don't have to worry about putting it on. And looks like our wire is clearing everything, so I think it's test run time. Now, one thing, a little tidbit I'll throw in, if you're changing that engine to mower deck belt, and down here in the front, on this one, it actually is, they got the bolts coming forward. There's two nuts there. If there's two of you, where one person can hold the wrench on the back side, and someone else can loosen these nuts on the front side to give just a little bit of play in that clutch anchor bracket, it makes it a lot easier to get the belt in between the chassis and the clutch anchor bracket. Because you don't need much movement because it is not far from clearing in the first place, but in between the frame and that clutch anchor, I mean, it's just barely belt width. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to work. Well, I got the 652R working. My only concern is I don't know if you hear in the video, when I turn the blades on, you don't have that snap turn on anymore. I don't know if the clutch, because what it had done when it was running, that plate was at an angle and rubbing, and it on the outer edge of that disc, probably 3/8 of an inch, it is worn. Um, Eventually, I think from repeated use, it's going to clean that surface up and it's going to grip good, because otherwise, these clutches for these are over $500. So I'm going to let him make a decision whether we replace the clutch, but knowing the guy that owns it, this will be just fine, because I just put this clutch on last year because it had a bearing lock up. Because last year when you'd start it, the blades ran all the time because the bearing on the pulley seized up. So it locked the belt, the pulley with the, for the deck belt to the crank. So as soon as you went to crank it, the blade started turning, and it's not very safe loading and unloading it off of a steel trailer like that. So we fixed the clutch. But other than that, it's ready to go. I'll get around and give him a call in a little bit. But hey, I do appreciate you watching. Hey, anybody out there that's watching this is not a subscriber, feel free to join on in, because there's no telling what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.